Countess Dem's refusal to marry dealt a crushing blow to Beethoven's hopes of finding love and marriage. Not only was his increasing deafness isolating him, but his uncertain financial status was also becoming an impediment to finding happiness.
At the time of his great disappointment with Josefina Dem, his brother Karl seemed to find real happiness in love. But Beethoven could never accept Karl's choice, and he did like to see himself the arbiter in all questions of morality.
Brother? Ludwig.
So, it's true then?
Yes. We are to be married.
Well, with all your distractions, I shall need to find someone else to look after my affairs.
No, I can still work. Johanna is expecting our first child, so I need...
Out of wedlock. A splendid work, brother. That's just splendid and true to form. And as for you, lady, I know you. And so does all Vienna.
Oh, yes, that's right. Nothing is ever good enough for the high and mighty Beethoven. Or is it that you can't bear to see somebody else being happy?
Get out.
I knew him to be an unpredictable man. It is said men with great gifts have little time for pleasantries, but what had I done to deserve such harshness? And treating Karl, his brother, like an enemy? Perhaps I was not as fine a lady as the great composer was used to sharing company with. He made my head spin with his insinuations.
Beethoven was intolerant of those who didn't live up to his own high moral standards, unable to reconcile real people, real desires, with his own idealized vision of women.
Quite a beauty, isn't she?
Misunderstood and frustrated, Beethoven consistently felt isolated from those around him. At exactly this time, there's a typical example of how, consciously or subconsciously, the tensions in his life found expression and release in his music. He was writing a new piano sonata, which became known as the Appassionata. Its title tells you everything. This is music of violent rage, tragedy and despair. This sonata finds Beethoven in the depths of human suffering. The passion and turmoil caused by his failed love affair with Josefina and his ambivalent feelings towards his brother's happiness are woven into the very fabric of this music, which starts darkly at the lower register of the keyboard. Now, like in so much Beethoven, this theme is built around a broken chord. This is a chord. Here it is, broken. Then, after this darkness, you get a moment of poignant respite, an acknowledgement, perhaps, of his inexorable spirit. He's bruised, but he's not beaten. From there, he cranks it up a notch, up a semitone, raising the tension. explores that fragment. Recognise that? The Fifth Symphony motif, which crops up again and again throughout Beethoven's compositions. Darkness, misery, introspection, but determination. Beethoven's saying with this piece, I'm still here. This is my inner core, and I'm not ashamed to show it to you. And the tension between this despair and his innate musical strength light a touch paper so that the piece suddenly explodes. The mood he creates of sheer desperation and determination is imprinted on every bar of this first movement. The Appassionata was created in stormy political times. Austria was still under French occupation. Despite the political uncertainty, Beethoven's reputation was growing, and wealthy patrons gravitated to him because of his increasing celebrity. In Prince Lichnowsky, he thought he'd found someone who understood his uncompromising artistic vision.
The whole region was in chaos. There were troops everywhere. One had to make one's life as comfortable as possible. And if that meant spending the odd evening entertaining some French officers, then that's what one did. Some of them were actually very cultured and even loved music. Obviously, they were very interested to hear of my support of my great friend.
There are,
Ludwig! Come in. Well, come and join us. I'd like you to meet my friends.
We never stop moving. You never know the next time you'll feel clean sheets or a comfortable bed. And that is until we stay here. Gentlemen, I propose a toast to our host.
Thank you.
Well, I hope I can make your stay all the better by persuading our guest of honor, Herr Ludwig van Beethoven, to play for us.
Oh, I'm very tired. I better go to bed.
It's early.
I have a very busy day tomorrow. A lot to do.
Herr Beethoven, please. You would honor us with your playing.
Play! 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 Play!
I'm not a performing seal!
He may not be a performing seal, but he's certainly a Rhineland pig. Perhaps we should arrest him, gentlemen.
I doubt if any of you swine would know what a piano keyboard looked like if it was blown at you from the end of a cannon. I will not play for you! Nor will I play for your emperor, Napoleon.
Can't your guest take a joke?
Such is the nature of the artistic mind, gentlemen. If you'll excuse me. What are you doing? Where are you going at this time of night? Ludwig, please!
There are, and there always will be, thousands of princes. But there's only one Beethoven! What about your new work? The manuscript will be ruined.
To this day, the rain streaks from that night can still be seen on the Appassionata manuscript.
Sir? Sir! This note arrived for you.
Dear Ludwig, I wanted you to know I have great news. Johanna has given me a beautiful son, Karl.
A boy. It's a new Beethoven.
I hope you will visit and see your nephew soon.
Beethoven refused to see his newborn nephew. Once again, his impossibly high and unrealistic moral standards short-circuited his natural feelings. For him, Johanna was simply not a good enough mother for the Beethoven family, and therefore he couldn't visit them. In fact, he didn't see his new nephew for 8 years. In the meantime, I think, he found an emotional substitute in his relationship with the teenage Archduke Rudolf, who was himself a talented musician, and who became his new patron.
Ludwig? Ludwig?
Yeah.
I've been wanting to ask for some time. I'm intrigued by your methods. Please do not think me rude, but with your hearing difficulties, how do you compose? I'm sorry, that was out of place.
I know there's much curiosity about me. Much tittle-tattle. It's true, many of the high notes are lost to me. And sometimes more. Both good days and bad days. And it doesn't affect me, though, as you might think. You see, all of the music that I write, I can hear. In my mind. I know the sounds that every instrument can make. I can hear them all. In a trio, quartet, orchestra, it's all there. It's all there. In my head.
One of the pieces that Beethoven was working on during this time was his Pastoral Symphony, music which does, I think, express his deepest sense of loss for the sounds of nature that he'd soon not be able to hear. The countryside, for so many 19th century composers a source of inspiration, was for Beethoven a place where man could encounter God.